Welcome back. So the color is still very much green on the screen. So let's keep the corporate conversations going. Suzlon is on our radar this morning. The company will be acquiring a majority stake of around 76% in Renom, a renewable energy operations and maintenance service company. The company will acquire the stake in two tranches over the next several months. To talk about this, we have with us Mr. J.P. Chalasani, CEO of Suzlon. Mr. Chalasani, great to have you back on. And this is quite interesting because this is a business line that you already have. I'll just sort of point this out for the benefit of our viewers. Energy operations and maintenance services, right? But I think the business that you have is captive. It only takes care of, I think, Suzlon's requirements. But with this acquisition, is the idea that you want to branch out and expand this as a wider business opportunity? Tell us more.
Yeah, no, let me just, first of all, good morning. Thanks for having us here. Let me clarify that when you talked about 15 gigawatts of Suzlon captive, it is not actually captive. What we do is that every single turbine we sell, we also provide a long-term service contract to our clients. So this 15 gigawatts, what we operate is for the different clients. So today, the market, today the installed capacity in India is, let's say, about 47 gigawatts. So out of that 15 gigawatts is what Suzlon capacity, entire 15 gigawatts is operated by us for the clients. There is a 32 gigawatts outside Suzlon, non-Suzlon turbines, which are being operated by the different OEMs or the ISPs, and some of them being done with self-OMS. The Renom is in the business of doing the non-Suzlon OMS business. They already have about 2.5 gigawatts, out of that about 1.8 gigawatts is the non-Suzlon. What this equation does for us is while Suzlon continues to grow its fleet, when we keep doing our own sales, which is growing, you know that our order book currently at 3.8 gigawatts, we continue to grow Suzlon sales, which automatically will get added to our fleet. 15 gigawatts will keep growing, but this 32 gigawatts, which is existing today, plus let's say our target for the country is to reach from 47 to 100 gigawatts. So there's another 50 gigawatts getting added. In that, if I take away the Suzlon portion, there is a significant non-Suzlon turbines also getting added. So there is a large pie of 40-50 gigawatts of non-Suzlon turbines opportunity available for us to take. So that is what is the synergies between us and the Renom. Would provide that while Suzlon continues to grow its own fleet, its own service business, this platform gives us to grow the business of non-Suzlon, what we call as a multi-brand OMS.
That's good context to have, but I just want to understand whether going forward you will look at merging Renom and your own, Suzlon OMS business. Is that something you're looking at? But I don't know how that works because I believe the margins of your OMS business are very healthy. In fact, in the last quarter, they gave a good boost to the numbers. So just give us an idea also of the size. Right now, the Suzlon OMS business, how much is it at an annual basis? What's the run rate? Where do you see it growing to? Now, those margins, I believe, are 42-43%. So is merging these two even a possibility in the near future?
These two are completely in a different, they are the service business. There are synergies to that extent of overall technology support in it. But these two are two different segments. What the Renom does is the multi-brand OMS. And they have established a good business there. They are the largest ISP in this segment, today with 1.8 gigawatts. In the last, take the last 4 years, the CAGR of growth has been about 29%. That business model itself is different, partly comprehensive OMS, partly non-comprehensive OMS. So therefore, these two cannot be compared, these two cannot be merged. So as we said in our press release as well, this would be an independent board-managed ISP, which will continue to grow in non-Suzlon brand, and Suzlon will continue to grow in the Suzlon brand. There is a huge amount of synergies between the two, but we don't need to merge two companies. And we continue to operate in its own space. When they were growing at 29% on their own, because they built a good brand, now we can imagine that with Suzlon backup, growth rates are expected to increase further.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Chalasani, hi, good morning. Prashant here. So this is, this Renom has got about 2.5 gigawatt, right, of contracted capacity.
Yes.
FY24 PAT was about 20 crores. Could you, what does this get you? I mean, because you already do this business, not just for turbines. I mean, right now you do it for turbines that you sell, but, they do it for others as well. my point is, does it get you expertise which you could not? You could have sort of gone after this market within Suzlon. I mean, does it get you personal expertise? Does it really add to the size and heft? I mean, that other portion which you said you can go after now, which is non-Suzlon, apart from the 15, you could have gone after it without this acquisition, isn't it? Just trying to understand.
Prashant, it's an absolutely valid point. We could have done our own as well. As I said, that these two are today. In fact, we have been trying to do that. In fact, today we do have about 230 megawatts of non-Suzlon models, which we're taken to see that, how to operate those things. It's much easier to operate our turbines versus other turbines. One option we had was that we grow on our own in this area. Second option is that there is an established platform which has been growing significantly, which has set up its own systems and processes. It gives you a leapfrogging into this business. So what it provides us is straight away, like with our 230 plus that out of the 2.5 gigawatts, about 1800 megawatt is wind. So straight away we'll start with 2 gigawatts of non-Suzlon turbines, this thing. So therefore the starting point is completely different. Plus, as I said sometime back, the model for non-Suzlon turbines, when you talk about multi-brand OMS, is different from what we do for Suzlon. The cost structure is different, what products you offer is different. So therefore, we just wanted to keep these two independent and run differently, keep the two different cultures separately. And this platform, what it does is that it's a good platform, largest ISP, gives us that initial platform for us to leapfrog into this because the potential is huge. And also, Prashant, one we need to understand is that this is not just growing the business in service sector. What it does is that the WTZ sales business is a bit of a cyclical. In FY17, we did very well. Then you had this tariff-based bidding, the whole country's things have come down. Whereas during that period, as well as when we had the financial issues, the one which supported us is our service business, because it's an annuity type of business, it continuously keeps giving you the cash flows. So therefore, increasing our service footprint quickly would provide us further stability for a cyclical business like WTZ. So I think that's also as a strategy for us to ensure that when we are now come back into a real these things, to have a sustainable growth where we insulate ourselves with the market fluctuations to the extent possible. So therefore, this is one way to increase service business significantly through this platform. That's the strategy.
All right. Hi, sir. Morning and good to see you. Give us a margin profile of both the businesses, the acquired business as well as Suzlon's business. And when do you see it come up to steam with what Suzlon's doing currently?
I wouldn't like to compare the two models because, as I said, the models are different. It's unfair to compare the two. Suzlon, you have seen it, obviously, that they've been at 40% plus sort of an EBITDA margins. This business at this scale, last year, the numbers are out there, and there are at, let's say, about 20% of EBITDA margin. But then that fleet today is 2.5 gigawatts, out of that 1.8 is wind. And second is that in Suzlon turbines, every turbine is a comprehensive OMS. Scope is different. Whereas on this 1.8 gigawatts, they have different types of contracts. Something is comprehensive, something is semi-comprehensive, something is pure technical support. So therefore, it's unfair to compare the two, saying that when Suzlon is making 40% EBITDA, why is 20%? I think in the ISP sector, the independent service provider sector, both in India as well as abroad, when you see this company is doing pretty well. With respect to
so sir, just to conclude that, so you're happy with these margins at around 20%, or is there scope for it to improve? We get that point. You're saying it's not directly comparable. We should look at it differently. Where do you see this 20% scaling up to?
As a CEO, I can never say I'm happy with any margins. We always look for the margin.
So what's the target? What's the aspiration then?
No, I can't put a number to it. But as I said, that as at the point I was mentioning some time back, they have been growing at the CAGR of 29%. Okay, on their own. And now with Suzlon coming in, you can expect the growth to happen differently. And also with our backing, the model of contracts could change. So that would also improve the margins. We expect that margins would significantly improve, but I don't want to put a number to it.
So just to go back to the strategy point that you were making earlier, that in some ways this also kind of provides a second engine, de-risking the model, right? In the periods when wind turbine generator sales are not soaring through the roof. The company that you've acquired is about 213 crores. It's a very small acquisition compared to Suzlon's size. What is the size of your own OMS business at present? If you could just give us the annual revenue number, And since the possibility is very huge, give us a projection. I mean, this acquisition and your own internal business put together, can it, say, get to, I don't know, I mean, 700-800 crores revenue, 1,000 crores revenue? What is the scalability, since that seems to be a very big objective behind doing the acquisition?
Anyway, the question, in different ways, coming back to the same this thing. Let me try to answer this question. First, let's look at Suzlon own business. Today, we are the top OMS company in the country. Not just the top service company in the country, that if you look at across the power sector, including the fossil fuel,
Right.
we are 5. So NTPC leading the pack, we would be number 3 or so. Across the power sector, operating the assets. We are growing significantly, our own turbines. Right now with 3.8 gigawatts, we expect to grow significantly between now and 2030. If country is going to add, let's say 50 gigawatts between now and 2030, you can imagine that we always have 25 to 30% market share minimum. So therefore, that keeps adding to our fleet of a business. Okay? That would continue to grow for every single turbine we sell. As our policy, we won't sell a turbine if there is no service contract. So every turbine we sell will keep adding there. That's one growth engine which will continue. Coming to your second point is what needs to be seen today is that, comparison to Suzlon, it may be small. But look at the potential out there. As I said, today itself, there is a 47 gigawatts commission capacity in the country. We are just operating 15 gigawatts, and this company is operating 2 gigawatts. Okay, so there is still a significant 30 gigawatts sitting there. The current thing operated by different OEMs, and some of those OEMs are showing today saying that they are not really keen on long-term stay in the country. Plus, additional capacity what is coming in. What is important to say is not the 2.5 gigawatts what is today. What is the potential to grow from today to 2030 is huge. And if they are growing at 29% CAGR with Suzlon, you can always imagine what is going to be the growth rate. So I leave it to you, your imagination, what is the number there. So, but it's unfair to compare today the 15 gigawatts and then they just started in 2015.
Okay. Mr. Chalasani, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry, apologies to Button, but great conversation and great perspective on all counts. Thank you, and good luck with that acquisition.